Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daniel, and this is Podcast for Life. Today, we are going to be exploring dealing with delusions in an evidence-based life. Now, before we start, I do need to get the disclaimers out of the way. I am Daniel, a Kentucky certified adult peer support specialist. I have 6 years experience, and I'm considered one of the foremost experts in the field of peer support. Peer support is not a replacement for individual or group mental health therapy. It is an addition to. Evidence has shown that with the use of peer support, along with medication management and individual therapy, that people can heal faster and stronger than without, and with individual therapy alone. I take great pride in being just another cog in the wheel because it takes all the wheels to make the axle turn to get the truck down the road. It takes the engine, the transmission, the gears. It takes all of us. As with any other healthcare, you should not start or stop any therapy, new or ongoing, without first consulting your doctor. That's true in the medical field. That's also true in the mental health field. I believe mental health is holistic in nature, and the mental health is contingent upon the physical health. And in many ways, the physical health is also contingent upon mental health. The happier patients are, the faster they heal. That has been proven time and again. My job is to support and encourage my consumers of mental health services so that they can have the highest quality of life possible and so that they can begin to move on beyond their illness to the fullness of their potential. Now, with that out of the way, recovery is possible. Not only is recovery possible, but it can be expected. Recovery is not the absence of sickness, it is the ability to overcome sickness. It is the ability to live with your illness so that you may be a part of the community. To live, grow, learn, and work. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the essence of peer support, and that is the essence of what I do here. What I do here is support and encourage you, my audience, my viewers, listeners, however you get my podcast, whether you view it online or listen to it in a podcast player, welcome. If this is your first time, let me welcome you. Let me thank our wonderful sponsors who've been fairly generous this week. And thank you to all those who have taken part in my program, past, present, and future. This week, we're going to be talking about an evidence based life. And we're going to be talking about how to fight delusions. Now, I've tried many coping techniques as far as delusions, from simply questioning them, questioning their existence, to just ignoring them. But the thing is before you can ignore them, you do need to identify them. You need, if you have never realized that you suffered from delusions before, and you are just coming to the knowledge that you may be realizing some delusions, and the reason I say may be suffering from delusions because you're not quite sure what these are. You just know something is off. You know, you're seeing and hearing things that other people don't seem to see and hear. And you believe in things that other people are not believing. You're feeling certain feelings, and you may even be questioning as to whether your feelings are true or false. Well, let me get this out of the way firstly. Feelings are never good or bad. They just are. There's no wrong way for you to have your feelings. There are right ways and wrong ways to express them. And the best way to express your feelings is in a positive manner. But that is a topic for another show, not a topic for another episode. I'll delve into that in greater detail later. For now, we're going to keep with delusions. You just know something is off. Your feelings aren't quite jiving with what you're believing. Or perhaps you're believing that you're under some kind of threat that no one else perceives or believes. You may have shared it with a few friends who sit there and say, oh, yeah, there ain't no way that could be. Maybe your friends back up and think about that. And the further stretch of the imagination, could it be? And then maybe to be a little bit understanding of you, stretch that imagination a little bit further. Because beliefs are also neither right nor wrong. They just are. They're built up from our experiences. They are built upon the facts that we've engaged. The thing is a belief is having faith in something, whether it be for good or for ill. And it is that something that is good or evil, not the fact that you believe it. The fact that you believe just is. Now, do you believe in good? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in the earth? Do you believe in nature? Do you believe in nurture? Do you believe in mom and dad? These are all things that we struggle with every day. We form our faith around. Many of us who are Christians build our beliefs upon the Holy Bible, which we believe is God's inspired word. I choose to take the Holy Bible, God's inspired word, and add to that the text of the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution. And those are also God's holy words because America is the second most holy nation in the world. It is the new world. That's enough of politics. I've taken politics off of this and taken it over to Podcast for Liberty, which can be viewed on the website for the Society for Liberty and Prosperity, http colon slash slash societylp.8m.net. Check it out. It's going to be a good episode. It airs at 7 o'clock this evening. Now, living an evidence-based life is paying attention to the things around you, the things that you do, the things that you see, the things that you perceive. Perception is not always honest. Just like with a computer, if you put garbage in, you get garbage out. If you're being told a lie often enough, chances are you may come to believe it. Unless you are very well grounded in the truth, you can only resist a lie for so long. And the more grounded you are in the truth, the more you can resist a lie. One of the ways that you can tell that you are about to succumb to a lie is that you are in a state of confusion, that you have no idea what is true. Many times that comes at the beginning of an issue. Many times we go into an issue with our firm set of beliefs and we're worn down, and then we become confused. And then we don't know who's telling the truth. And then as it continues, and we're continuing to be beat over the head with a lie, in the absence of truth, we will come to finally believe in the lie. You've heard about brainwashing. That's how it's done. You tell a lie often enough, keep the truth absent, and then the people will believe the lie because they have no support for the truth. Even if it's something as simple as tying a shoelace. And you're being told that you can't do it because you're not intelligent enough. Which we all know that's a lie, because even 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds can tie their own shoelaces. So we know that's a lie. But if we're given a set of instructions, that doesn't work. And then at the end of it, well, the reason it's not working is because you're not intelligent enough. And you have nobody there to sit there and say, hey, look, this is really the right way to do it. And to reward you for a job well done, you're going to come to believe that lie that you can't tie your shoelaces. Simple task, made complicated by evil forces for their own designs, for their own ends. Such is what delusions are. Delusions have a life of their own. We're not going to delve into too much where they come from and where they go to. We're going to just say that they are that they are. Now, the latest theories of where they come from is they come from the imagination. However you view what the imagination is, I view it personally as a gift of God. It is where our creativity comes from. It is where our inspirations come from. But in our imagination is where delusions most of the time are born and live. Delusions have no basis in reality, nor do they care to consort with reality. What they want to do is they want to live their life just like everybody else does. I don't think they mean to wreak havoc, but they're another faith. They're an intrusive faith. They're like the parasite. For example, the tapeworm. The tapeworm is in the host body and eats of the food that the host eats, sucks of the blood of the host for nourishment and water. Eventually makes the host sick and die, unless it's treated. But once released, it surely will die, such as what a delusion is. Delusions should not be entertained any longer than is absolutely necessary. What they are, or what they could be, is in the days where we faced grave danger, would be part of the process processing of information, gaining imaginary perils to overcome, to try to figure out how to overcome them. That could be where in times they came from, in which case they would be a survival mechanism, which may or may no longer be needed. I can see certain circumstances nowadays where they could be needed when our life is in peril, when we are about to struggle, or when we're about to make a big decision. But delusions, our imaginations, run amok. They've taken on a life of their own. They're no longer a life part of the body. They've taken on a life of their own. They make their own decisions and influence us to abide by their will instead of us exhorting our will upon them. I like the idea of a delusion being a parasite because that's what they are. They will steal and kill and steal the life right from underneath your feet. They will take and take and take. And when you have nothing more to give, they will take some more. And then they will complain about how hungry they are. Have you ever felt like that? Do you feel like that now? Do you know that there are many people, many healthy, normal people that suffer from some kind of delusion, no matter how minor? If you have ever told a lie or been told a lie, how do you know all you have is the truth? Very few of us do. I dare say we all have a part of us that is a delusion, or delusional, if you would. Not that it's a problem, not that it's getting in the way of life, but delusions can get in the way of life. They've gotten in the way of my life. Delusional thinking is thinking about a lie and believing that lie to be true and taking actions to protect ourselves from that lie being true. if you understand that statement, you're probably not currently suffering from delusions. But you could be. We all could be. There's no definitive test of delusion that I've seen. The thing is just like any other belief, you have to come to the realization with delusions that you are having them, that they are delusions, that they are untrue. You have to come to that knowledge yourself. Nobody can tell you that you're delusional. There's no definitive test other than the truthfulness of your statements. The best therapist can do is to question your delusions, is ask you, are you sure that's correct? And you search your thoughts. And you take a look. And you think about, is it possible? And then when you exhaust the is it possible, is it probable? And then when you exhaust that, could it be? And we do that with every issue, but we don't realize it. Living an evidence-based life is simply taking the evidence at hand, comparing it to what we're thinking about, and connecting the evidence with the thoughts. Are our thoughts true? And not only does this work with delusions, it also helps us to identify hallucinations. Because if somebody is speaking, especially if they're speaking to you hear them loudly and clearly. You can turn your head and you can see them talking. And if you hear somebody or see somebody and they're not talking, but you hear them anyway, well, then are they really talking? That is a question that you need to answer. Part of self-help is being able to help yourself. Part of self-help is being able to identify this stuff for yourself. Part of being self-sufficient is being able to depend on yourself for the answers. The only stupid question is the one that's never asked. We all need to question ourselves, our thinking, sometimes our senses, to make sure that there's so. And those of us who do suffer from delusions, those of us who do suffer from mental illness, we have to pay particular attention to our reality. We have to pay particular attention to what's going on around us. Because if we lose touch with reality, we might not find our way back. And the thing is, I think that's true for pretty much all of us. All of us, if we were to lose touch with reality, would definitely have a difficult time finding our way back to it. And there are a lot of people out there still being left undiagnosed with mental illness. And even though 1 in 5 adults suffer from some form of mental illness, and 1 in 4 of those people are undiagnosed. We need to do better. As a society, we need to do better. As a people, we need to do better. Nationalized mental illness stands ready to help. any and all those who are interested in mental health to gain information. In Kentucky, the website is http://www.namiky.org. Check them out. See what's going on. There's a lot going on. Advocacy Day, Mental Health Awareness Day, NAMI walks, along with a number of up and coming affiliates to be involved with. There's plenty to do and see. Plenty of places to become involved. If you care for one for another, you care for people, you may be interested in that. If you care for people suffering from mental illness, you definitely want to check out NAMI. They are a nonpartisan group of people that are just willing to reach out and help as many people as they can. Make it possible that all would be able to get the mental health care as needed as possible. Okay, back to our delusional thinking. Delusional thinking is thinking that something is untrue. Not that it could be true, but it is something that is untrue. Could very well be possible. But in this instance that you're thinking about it, it's untrue. There is a difference between true and unproven. Now, unproven means you don't have evidence of it, but you still believe it to be true. And when you're dealing with unproven facts, you need to know where to go get evidence for that. Once you figure out where to get evidence for that, then you can test your hypothesis about it being untrue. It can get fairly complicated the further you delve into it. But you have untrue and unproven. Those are the two main things. Untrue is something that is blatantly no way, shape, or form can it be true. Unproven is, well, there's a possibility of true, but it's not likely to be true. But where can we go to get more facts? And then pursuing those avenues. And if we can't get facts from there, then what we have to do is we have to do something called giving the benefit of the doubt. So where do we give the benefit of the doubt? Do we give the benefit of the doubt is it going on or is it just not happening? And those are decisions we have to make as individuals. As we make these decisions, we are taking more control of our life. We are becoming more self-sufficient. For good or for bad, for good or for ill. We all need to be as self-sufficient as possible, especially in these days. Times are coming. Things are going to be hard, but they don't have to be quite so hard. Life is only as hard as we make it. And as we make it, so shall we live. And again, an evidence based life is looking around us, ascertaining the facts. Okay, I need to go to the grocery store. Why do I need to go to the grocery store? Well, the cupboards are empty. Well, take a look. There's a can of tuna. Maybe there's a half gallon of milk. Maybe there's a loaf of bread. Okay, I don't have to go to the store right this minute, but that's all I got. I got no choices. I got no variety. I want more choice. I want more variety. I need to go to the store. Okay, go to the store. Fill out your groceries, fill the cupboards, fill the refrigerator. That's proper thinking. That's proper doing. That's proper planning. An example of being delusional are I need to go to the store. But my cupboard's full. I don't know where to put them. But the thing is if I don't go to the store, I'm still going to go hungry. Well, what's the evidence of that? What's the evidence that you're going to go hungry if you don't go to the store when you have food to eat? You have food to eat. You eat. That way you won't be hungry. Nothing goes together. Could that be delusional thinking or could that be taste, texture, personality? Okay, nothing goes together. Well, why don't we try something new? Instead of just having peanut butter sandwiches, how about let's add a little jelly to it? Or maybe a little honey. Let's try experimenting a little bit with different things. Oh no, can't do that. Is that delusional thinking? The fact that you can't do that, that you can't mix things together, come up with something new. Is that delusional thinking for you? Is that proper thinking for you? It used to be that there are ways that we had to do things. And if we didn't do things that way, that there was something wrong with us. But now, as a society, we have progressed among, we have progressed past my way or the highway. And we've come to realize that my way or the highway is a statement that tyrants use to keep their power because they make you choose sides. And they want you to choose their side. And many tyrants will even sit there and say, choose my side or I'll kill you. And be quite serious. Thankfully, they're not in America. Thankfully, an American will never cross paths with those people. Thankfully, we're freer than that. But the days are coming. When Ronald Reagan said, never more than a generation away from totalitarianism. What we need to do is we need to, for our own benefit, we need to be here for ourselves. and for each other. A life of service is a very rewarding endeavor indeed. And helping somebody through their delusions and into reality is very rewarding. But I do not profess to proclaim anyone listening to my podcast as qualified to do so. Oh, you're qualified to give support and encouragement, yes, but to do so in a manner that promotes health, that alleviates symptoms, no. Some things are better left to the professionals. If you're trained in the mental health field, you already know more about delusions than most people. And if you're untrained, maybe you might want to check out NAMI, National Alliance for Mental Illness, ANMI. That's NAMI.org. And in Kentucky, that's NAMI, Kentucky, NAMIKY.org. I urge you to check them out. See what they have to offer. See what you have to offer them. John Kennedy said, don't ask not what your government can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. We must not look to be provided for. We must be self sufficient. And we must have so much that we can give others as well. As I state all the time, a life of service is rewarding, is the proper value. Now I'm seeing that our time is drawing short. Once again, to deal with delusional thinking with an evidence based life is to take out, look at the evidence set before us, compare it to our thinking processes, what we are thinking about. Do they match our circumstances? Do they match what we are trying to do? Do they match the way we are perceiving the world? And if they don't, it could be delusion. If they don't, why aren't they? Are we not in custody of all the facts? And if we're not, where do we go to get more facts? Who do we ask the questions where we can get the good, honest answers? Honesty and integrity is the only way to live a fully honesty and integrity is the only way to live a fully capable life. That's how we handle things on the roller coaster we call life. Twists, turns, ups, downs, dips, valleys, curves, peaks. Translate that. Mood swings, delusions, wrongful thinking, fantasies. It's all the same. It all can be a wild ride, or it could be turmoil, or it could be peace, safety. Not always is it our choice, but it is our duty to make it our choice. We have decisions to make regarding our life and our care. Now, the advice that I give is not for people who are addicted to drugs. I'm sorry about that, but it's just not. Addiction entails so much more than mental health, simple mental health. Addiction to drugs, you have withdrawal, temptation, you have that to deal with as well. Now, although I'm capable of handling some of that, I do have a whole drawer full of names of peer support specialists who specialize in drug addiction. And if you are addicted to drugs, let me encourage you to seek them out. If you're addicted to drugs, let me encourage you to seek out a therapist that deals in drug addiction, that they can get your special issues addressed so that you can, again, live the fullness of life and be totally self sufficient. Ladies and gentlemen, you're viewing my program. You're being part of my audience, shows your desire to live, grow, work, and learn. Take what I have, what I offer you, apply it to your life, help others apply it to theirs. There's no real secret in staying well. The secrets are mostly of our own making. The magic happens as we make decisions for ourselves. We are the magicians of our life. We, ourselves, make the magic happen in our own life. And let's take care of each other as we take care of ourselves. Until next week, this is Daniel Lessig, and this is Podcast for Life. Thank you.